2024, Finland is sacred the happiest country in the world for the 7th time. The reasons for winning that award are numerous. An efficient administrative system, accessible healthcare, a balanced work-life culture, and an incredible access to nature, including more than 40 national parks. In 2023, this country of 5.6 million inhabitants welcomed not less than 12,795 international students. Are you one of them? Or maybe you're considering moving to the country of Santa Claus, sauna, and ice hockey? This podcast is made for you. Welcome to What's Next Finland, a podcast series of 6 episodes that will tell you all about living, studying, and working in Finland as an international. My name is Noémie. I have been living in Finland for about 4 years now, and in these 6 episodes we are going to discuss topics such as making friends, learning Finnish, looking for a job, or creating your own company. Before starting this episode, let's have a little quiz to test your Finnish knowledge. Let's start with some of the biggest cities in Finland. We can think of Espoo, Helsinki, Tampere, Oulu, Turku, or Jyväskylä. According to you, which one of them is the capital? If you answered Helsinki, you are correct. Okay, this was basic level. But let's move forward and ask ourselves, where does Santa Claus live? Can you name me the region? Or if you are a pro, can you name me the city where you can find his offices? If you answered Rovaniemi in Lapland, you are again correct. Last but not least, let's talk about water. Did you know that Finland is called the land of the 1,000 lakes? But in reality, there are more than 180,000 lakes in Finland. Can you guess how much percentage of the Finnish territory is actually covered by water? If you answered 10%, you are correct and deserve to treat yourself with a cinnamon bun. Now that you're all set, it's time to welcome our guest of the day, Julián and Asma. Let's dig into it.
My name is Julián and I come from Colombia. I came here to Finland to study a master's degree in robotics. I am mechatronics engineering and I am very interested in space research. So I also got an internship to do that in Turku with a aerospace company. And yeah, so technically I am currently studying and working at the same time, and yep, that's it.
My name is Asma. My wife and I came to Finland about 3 years ago to finish our master's degree. First, we moved to Jyväskylä because she got accepted in Jyväskylä University. We lived there for 4 months. And since I was accepted in Åbo Academy, we moved to Turku. After that, I graduated last summer from Governance of Digitization in Business Analytics. And currently I'm studying Finnish and I'm working on my upcycling furniture project.
So my first question is a bit of an introduction one, because it's about the reason that made you move to Finland. So Julián from Bogota, Colombia, and you from Dubai. So that's quite far away from two very different continents. What were the reasons that brought you to Finland, and why afterwards did you decide to stay?
It was a research made. It was not just like, boom, we're coming to Finland, to be honest. So the story started that in 2019, we wanted to take a break. We both have a very kind of a hectic jobs. I'm a head of marketing and communication, and she's head of a brand and communication as well. And once we basically graduated from our bachelor degree, we started to work directly, and we've been working for the past 10 years. So we're like, okay, let's take a break, put everything apart, and then do something else. So we decided to do our masters. So we actually did a research of Nordic countries we want to move to. So we did check Norway, Germany. It's not Nordic, but we checked Germany. We went to Copenhagen, and then we came to Finland. And it was so funny because when we came to Finland, we felt that it's really peaceful. And we're like, that's it. and we moved to Finland. So we applied, we both got accepted, and we did it. Why we stayed in after our first year, in our second years of masters, my wife got a permanent job in her basically field, and we're like, okay, it seems like it's working on. So like we decided to stay. Yeah, after we graduated from our masters.
For me, I was very interested from like years ago in the Nordic countries. So I wanted, like, it started because I was interested in nature and also like finding a good work-life balance. And I wanted to work also in aerospace. So I was looking for countries that had those three characteristics, like life-work balance, nature, and like opportunities with aerospace. And there was this agent in Colombia, in Bogota, that they went to my home university to do a presentation on who are they, what do they do, and so on. And basically they help students or people in general to come to study to the Nordic countries. And they are called Instituto Nordico. And they help me like making sure that I have the right papers, the right documentation, everything on point, so I wouldn't be rejected because, oh, you're missing this document, or oh, you're this or that. And also that my cover letter was like on point for what the university was looking for. They gave me a list, so I took every one of those universities, also listed like every one of the masters that I could study. And I say, okay, these ones I'm interested in, and I need these documents. So I started compiling the documentation and then applying. And I said, okay, if I apply to, I don't remember the number, but let's say 50 universities, at least one could say yes. Then I only need one. I don't need 2, 3, no, just one. So I decided, yeah, I'll apply to all of those. And I would like some good results. But I also have, like Finland had one special thing, is that they gave me the University of Turku scholarship that I didn't have to pay the tuition fee. So I was like, yeah, that's back to the original track. That is very helpful. That's how I end up in Finland, like just chasing dreams maybe. And just
One of the big downs of Finland is, I think, the winter. That is very harsh for a lot of foreigners because it lasts. It never stops. It keeps on snowing. It feels quite lonely when, especially during the first year, because you have just arrived. Maybe you don't have so many friends. You arrived in September, and then everyone is covered with big jackets. You don't recognize people in the street. So it's nice for winter activities. You can go cross-country skiing, go with the sledge, or these kind of things. But in my case, it's really going outside and force myself, even if the weather is bad, to go to cross-country skiing, to have to join my friends to some local events. I think in every city in Finland you have these small communities. In Helsinki especially, I see a lot of events that are also in English, so you can go, or in Finnish if you want to practice your language skills. But you need to look for them, and I think that's the difficult part. But once you have found a couple of groups, that's really worth it to look on the internet for activities, Turku activities, Helsinki activities, Tampere in English, and then you might find a small group that is organizing events. So maybe we can start with Asma. Could you give us a few tips to survive this long Finnish winter?
I would say maybe from my own experience, the mistake I did is basically buy from Finnish brands. Don't think that any brands around the globe do have any engineered jackets that would survive winter in Finland.
I agree so much.
So basically I did buy from like a brand back, maybe Dubai is not the best place to buy from, okay, but I did that. But you know, I don't know how winters are like, you know, but like we don't have winter there. But I did buy from a very big brand, and really it was nothing. And then we discovered that no, we need to go and buy from Finnish brands in order to be able to survive, like, you know, boots and things like that. So we had to change the entire wardrobe for that, like, you know, and it was not really cheap, you know, like winter gear is here like really expensive, but it's like worth it. It's worth it. It's an investment, and it stays, and it's really good.
And you have second-hand shops
Yeah.
a lot in Finland.
True, and that's really beautiful. That was like a new concept for me because we don't have that in Dubai. No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't. The second thing the spikes.
Yeah.
Oh God, the spikes.
Can you explain what it is?
I've been looking around at people walking, and I was like, how could you walk? But and then again, they have a superpower fence because like I had a friend, and it was like, how do you walk with like enormous shoes? She was like, yeah, we just do it. We've been doing it for the past our entire life. We're just native in it. And it's like, okay, but what happened when you fall? She's like, we just stand up and walk again. And I was like, I have seen that. Like I have seen that with my own eye. And I felt personally once, and I just like, took it the Finnish way, stood up and just kept marching back to university. It was like totally normal. But spikes, like for me as a beginner, were like, as a beginner, it's really important. So it's basically things that you attach to your shoes, and there's different qualities, Don't get the things that like just simply attach. Get the things that like basically grab you, like tie them to your shoes, And I have a dog, and I have to walk him every day. So the spikes were awesome thing. And the fact that we discovered that like basically get Finnish brand winter gear. Get it from Finland, don't buy it from anywhere else. It's different when you wear the jacket. It's totally different. Yeah.
But I think this you can look on the internet to have advice like how you should dress and what are the best brand.
Yeah.
It's worth it to check.
In my mind, in Colombia, like warm is like, it's very like, I want to go to swim or to the beach or something. And cold is like, oh, I want to put a jacket. So that's cold for me. That was cold for me. Yeah, now in Finland it's like, whoa, I cannot feel my hands. That's cold. Something like that. Yeah.
Actually, maybe an extra tip, because I know that for some foreigners, the lack of light is so hard that they eat a lot of vitamin D. I think that was a really good thing that I started this year to buy vitamins. And some people buy lights, so you put the light.
I have that. I
have
that. Don't shame me. I have that. It's really important, really.
Yeah, but can you explain how it works? Because at least for me, I felt the difference now that I've taken the vitamins.
Yeah.
I felt much better during winter, and I didn't get sick.
Yeah. For me, I'm a person coming from like sun, basically, and it really affects. So vitamins was like, we had like, vitamins. It was something like really necessary. But like, last year we bought the lamp. And my wife used to, like, until now we have of course now we're not, like, it's not work, like, we don't put it on, but like, every day, like, when she wakes up, it was like 8 and then like, it's still dark outside. So she would put it on, and then it's a timer basically. Okay. And then you put it on, and it depends on like, it gives you that like, kind of like sunlight or imitates it. And then you put it on for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it depends. And then you do it through the day, and then you basically kind of reflects on you, or like you expose yourself to kind of like, imitate the sunlight and things like that.
But I would like to continue and move on from this long winter, because you have been busy usually also during the winter with your studies. And so that's why I would like to ask you a bit more about your encounter with the Finnish education system. I went to Finland because I was looking for a fair system where the grade was not so important, and where I had space to develop myself, and where I could choose my schedule. In Finland, there is a freedom to choose your courses that I was so happy to discover it. Like, okay, you have your major, but you can have sometimes 40 credits of whatever you want. For me, it was incredible. So I could, for instance, I was studying English language, but I could also take a class in analysis of music video, like video clips, or taking a lesson in Finnish language, or this kind of things. It could fit my degree, and I found it incredible. Also that the essays have a very different format, so I think for a lot of students it's difficult when you arrive, because it's almost too free. Sometimes the essay format you can write, as long as you convince the teacher of your arguments and it's structured, they give you a good grade or you pass. Also, the Finnish system is very different compared to a lot of countries. In Finland, you pass or fail, but if you pass, it starts from 1, that's the lowest grade, but you have passed, and 5 is the best grade. And in Finland, for the teachers, it's not important that you get 5. for me, it was a big shock. It was like, if you pass, you pass. It's better if you have 3, 4, 5, of course. But as long as you passed, that's good. Also in Finland, you can fail an exam and take it twice again. For me, incredible shock. So I think it's really difficult to fail an exam because you can take it again and again. So I know some students who even are like too stressed about an exam, they go directly to fail it, and then okay, now I know that the teacher might ask these kind of things, etc. I will prepare better for the following one. So I feel that you have more time also to prepare how you study. You have more flexibility if you have an internship at the same time. These kind of things you can adapt. You can decide to take 3, 4 years instead of 2 to pass a degree. That is not the case for every student. In my case, I'm European. I have this big advantage that I can take as many years as I want to study. I don't have this visa problem because I have a European like passport. In your case, you need the visa. You need to graduate in 2 years often. So that's a big rush. Can you maybe, we can start with Julián this time. Maybe can you tell us a bit what you liked about the Finnish educational system, like how it differed from your home university, and maybe what you would like to keep, what would be worth to spread around the world, like, okay, this was good, maybe we can keep it.
Here it's a bit more random in a sense that you have more liberty, but also more like responsibility. Like with a great power comes great responsibility, something like that.
Yeah, but it's true. The freedom at the same time, you need to be independent, and I think it's a big value in Finland to be independent. And it's hard for some students. I think especially in Asia, where the teachers are so much behind you, like saying you need to do exactly these steps to give back the task. And here they are often puzzled to discover, oh wow, but the teacher expects nothing else from me than writing the essay, but it can take any form. I think it's really stressful for some students when they arrive with too much freedom. What do I do?
Yeah, it's true. And then with that freedom, like it's a bit stressing, but then when you understand how it works, it's nice. Because, for example, in my home university, I had like the basic subjects or the mandatory subjects, but I also have the elective subjects that is meant for you to, okay, then you have this career that in my case is mechatronics. Somebody once described it as is like a sea of knowledge with 1 centimeter of depth, because you don't get any depth in any subject, in any topic. So the idea is that with the electives, you actually get that deepness that you want in the field that you want. But then when that sounds good, but then when you go to the like website to see which courses you have available in the field that you want, there is not much courses. But here, if that happens, you can also see, for example, other universities also inside Finland, and then apply, and then just like also take subjects from other universities easily without needing a lot of documentations or present your request and wait for an approval. It's a bit more user or student friendly also. So it's that's nice that you can actually learn more. Like it has more freedom, but if you use it wisely, it's really like a powerful tool. So I think that's nice.
And what about you, Asma?
Since I graduated recently from Finland, the 2 things that I really loved, or it's one, basically the grades won't matter, it's the journey. I really love that. As a person who already graduated, had a work experience, and I worked for too long, I was not coming here to be like a perfect student. I was more of like looking to actually, grab onto, as I did business analytics, I really wanted to develop these skills that I have, and like, programming languages, data science, analytics tools, and these things. So I was not really coming here to be like that perfect student. I don't have this mindset anymore. I have already done this, I finished. In my mind, that phase already went out of my life, like I passed it. So this is the class, this is the materials, this is what we're giving you, but you're free to take more, you're free to like expand more, ask the teacher, take an extra courses, learn more about this. That I really love that. I really love the journey of it. And I felt actually my master's degree was a journey. Yes, and I wanted to, I know that as an international person, I was paying for my education in here. and I had to finish in a certain time for the visa purposes and things like that and all that. But I actually wanted to finish in 2 years. I was planning to do that, and I wanted to finish in 2 years. And something else I give them credit for, I was rewarded for that. Because I'm a person, like I had to pay, I took already 50% scholarship when I came here. And then it turned out that if I finish 55 credit in the first year, the second year would be waived.
Oh, wow,
so I
okay.
ended up like basically paying 25% of what I have to actually pay, which is like the first, half of the first year, which was like really great,
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, and I really did not know that. This is it. That was rewarded. It was really rewarded that you really wanted to finish, and they see your effort. It's not like really matter. Like I could be this person, and I could just finish it up and take A and like whatever it was, A, B in like back. So, but like I could take the 5 or the 4 and thing. But this really did not matter. What matters like your journey as a student. And then they wouldn't evaluate people out of their intelligence. It evaluated upon your effort. That was really, really appreciated because we are not the same. It does not put the students down. It actually encouraged them to do better, And then once you see your effort is seen, that's all that matters. And then something else I really, really loved is the Open University.
Yeah.
The Open University system where you're student or not student, be able to take courses that you're interested at. I feel this is a kind of an ask to a continuous development for a person. And everyone have this right to learn, whether you can afford it, you cannot afford it, whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a citizen, regardless. This is something I really appreciate in the education system here that is open for everyone.
As a conclusion, I asked you to maybe do a quick, your Finnish recommendations. Before listening to your recommendation, I will give mine that I had prepared also. So in my case, I think the dish you should try is the leipäjuusto. It's also called squeaky cheese for internationals.
Okay.
It's really, I'm French, so cheese is very important, and that's the only cheese I found in Finland that I like.
Really?
Because it's so different from what we have back home that, never tried that texture, never tried that taste. And I love that you put this jam that you can find only in Finland and I think in Canada because it's made out of cloudberries, the orange, sort of raspberries, but orange.
Orange, yeah.
So I would really recommend you to try this if you have not tried.
For a place, it's not a place per se. And usually you can do it everywhere in Finland. When it's winter and it's really, really, really cold winter, go to a frozen lake and walk on that or do the fishing. It's just magical. It's magical, and usually it's really quiet, so people go fishing there or but it's something that I don't know, I have never done before. It was so bizarre that I could walk into the pit, where's the lake pit, and go down the stairs and you just put your feet down there and you just walk in a frozen lake. I was like, what? And you would walk around and see all these holes for the people who've been fishing. It was insane. I just we went there and we took our dog with us, and then we took 2 chairs, and then we just sat there with very hot coffee. It was just magical. So I would recommend you to do something like that. Any place in Finland is really beautiful. For activities, there's a lot of nice activities, to be honest. So I went to mushroom picking. I've been every time there is a season I go, and I have done it in Jyväskylä as well. It's really beautiful because Jyväskylä, it has more of a natural side of or at least where we were staying, there were a lot of nature and there's a lot of field. So we did there. We did also strawberry picking. So you go to one of the farm and then you pick, and then the good things of it, you can eat as much as you want. It's for free. But once you want to buy it, when you want to take it home, so you buy whatever you want to take with you.
My personal favorite place, it's something that I discovered a few days ago actually, and it's an island just next to Turku. You can take the bridge even in bicycle or even walking to get there. It's called Hirvensalo, and I was amazed that I found you can do any activity. So you can do skiing or snow, practice a bit of snowboarding maybe also there, and it's nearby. There's a bus that takes you there. The island also, well, it's an island, so you have also access to water, or when it freezes, it's also like an ice skating possibility there, or just to walk in the ice. So there's a lot of activities you can do there. Walk in the nature, because it has like forests. When it's also summer, they have these mountain bike trails. Like also being near the water, you also have the opportunity to sail. So it's an island that is really close by, and it has a lot of activities to do. Really, really beautiful. Like one of my so far is could be in my top 5.
Thank you to you two for coming today.
Thank you.
I think we had very nice advice and recommendations.
It was a nice talk. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this episode where our guest of the day gave a lot of advice to survive the harsh winter. But don't forget that Finland is also offering a beautiful weather during summer, and it would be a shame to go back home when you could enjoy very nice temperature, but also a never-ending night, as in Finland during summer the sun barely goes down. You can also enjoy a lot of events such as festivals all around Finland, so don't hesitate to stay also during that season. And we will meet in the next episode of What's Next Finland.